good evening. Thank you for joining us here on the Evening Review. Let's have a look at today's headlines. Jemima Biek is your host. The Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board will soon pilot the Ostora concept. We are speaking to local economist Dr Omu Kakujaha-Matundu about this concept and the challenges that it wants to address. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Omu.
Thank you, Jemima.
Now, Dr. Omu, as I've said earlier, the investment board is looking at piloting an Ostora concept, which looks largely at addressing the challenges local producers are facing with securing shelf space in local retail stores. In your view, what has been up to now the biggest obstacles to local producers accessing these spaces?
Jemima, maybe just before we go there, perhaps I would say this is basically the land of the brave, and it is full of surprises. The Ostora concept, to me, because it is just a concept, I don't have much detail about how it will be operating or operated, whether it will be another big parastatal, how that is going to work against the other SMEs and the like. So to me, I think, just in passing, my advice to the Investment Promotion and Development Board is to stay out of this lane and stay in its lane, doing what it has been created to do. So the whole idea of us creating something that is smelling like a parastatal, to me, it's not a very good idea. Moving to your other question, for the past 30 years, we have known what the obstacles to local manufacturers or producers are in terms of securing shelf space. Many things are coming to the fore. Many studies has been done. The Trade and Industry Ministry of Industrialization and Trade are full of reports, and we know what those are. In the main, one of the things are basically that most of the retail shops here are South African retail giants, and they are comfortable with dealing with their own procurement systems and the like. But then again, one of the main obstacles, let me say, they are basically internal and external factors. Internal factors relating to things like scale, the economies of scale. Do we have that scale to produce at that level, to be given that space? That by that I mean, can you produce goods at a scale where you are going to be competitive in terms of prices? Quality is not a big issue. Namibian products, the quality is quite good. We see our asparagus, our grapes, our blueberries, our mostly the most delicious dairy products and processed meat products. You'll find them here. But you have now to compete on price. And to do that, you have to drive your cost of production down so that your prices can be as low as possible. So that is one hindrance. Others is basically, as I have said, discriminatory nature of the South African retail giants that are not granting Namibian products shelf space. And then again, you have other many problems. One of them being, say, your advertising cost or marketing cost. So you cannot compete with huge South African producers when it comes to let's say predatory pricing, for instance. South Africa, if they see that you are on the market, they can quickly, through lowering their prices, kill your products. The last one, there are so many, but let me just touch on this one, is what I wanted basically to say is, you look at things like when it comes to shelf space, you are talking also about forward contracting, if I may say. You want to be sure that the suppliers will supply you well into the future. Let's say we want to sell potatoes in October. You have to be sure that you'll have those potatoes. And sometimes the Namibian retail producers are struggling with some of these things.
Now, Dr. Omu, you've just listed a number of obstacles. Do you think for the Ostora pilot to be successful, government would have to consider a subsidy for these products?
Look, everything that we do, and mostly when it comes to subsidy, we should be very, very careful. One of the things, I'll go back to my earlier statement, that the investment promotion and development board has no business in this retail space. They should leave them to local SMEs. If there is anything to do, they should basically try to see how they can support local producers. They should go back to the retail shutter and see what has been done. Team Namibia, Namibia Trade Forum, what has they so far done that could support the not only the retailers, but the producers, basically, the Namibian manufacturers, so that they can stock that in any private outfit, be it Jemima small beautiful shop or something, but not that. Coming to subsidies, subsidies are basically taxes. What you are saying is that you are going to tax your taxpayers to basically subsidize the producers. That has distributional effects. What you are saying is that you are going to go against your taxpayers as well as your consumers, who will basically fund your producers. And sometimes these producers are not going to grow at all. So what you are saying is that there is a risk there, and that risk should be taken by the private sector and not the public sector in the form of an Ostora, which is basically run, we don't know how, but by your investment promotion and development board. So another thing that we should also take cognizance of is that in this administration, we are very good at manufacturing, if I may use that term loosely. Many agencies, that is creating so many agencies. We have the NAPTAs, AgriBusDev, we have NIDA, we have this rescue mission and this rescue whatever. We should try and go back to what we already have and see where we can help without trotting in a space where the public sector should not go.
Now, Dr. Omu, going back to what you've said earlier, NIPDB should stay in its lane. Now, there's been widespread criticism against the investment board that it will emulate the role of the trade ministry. It may become a duplication of, like you've said, a number of these trade agencies. Do you think this criticism is fair?
Very, very fair, Jemima. What I was expecting, and they should come very clear, I don't think Ostora is one of their mandate. They are not there to basically start creating some corner shops. And mind you, this is not a $1 shop. This is a shop that will, a retail shop that will compete with South African giants, that will compete with even local stores. So basically what you are saying is that, is this something that, let me also quickly hasten to say that, back to the subsidies. Subsidies is one of the avenues of corruption. And when you have an administration rife with corruption to again establish another avenue where taxpayers' money will go to waste, is really mind-boggling. We gave the board money. This is public money, taxpayers' money, to promote investment, not to start corner shops.
Now, in conclusion, you are speaking about corner shops. We have, to some extent, some corner shops, like the agriculture shops that we have that are promoting local produce. What support should government or even the private sector give to make sure these stores can compete with outside retail stores?
One is procurement. Government should procure, like for school feeding schemes, the food banks, and other instances for all kinds of memorial or state funerals and stuff. They should procure from these outfits. Another one is training. Another one is to try and explore external markets, because one of the main problems that I didn't mention why we don't have that scale is because of the small Namibian market. The African Continental Free Trade Area, if it is going to be something that Namibia can try and tap into and see how we can export our products and grow locally while exporting, that will assist all these producers, local producers. But for you to start a store, I think it'll just suffer the same problems and will go against the same odds that the other producers or other retail shops are going against.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Have a good evening, Doctor.
Thank you for having me, Jemima. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.